Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to NoDQ Live. And I see people in the chat are already sending their comments and questions in. Thank you guys for checking out the video live. Holy crap. Botchamania. No! Whoa, that was bad. We're off to a rocky start here. This is NoDQ Live. Botchamania running wild. No, this is not Botchamania. This is NoDQ Live. Thank you guys for checking out the video. Hopefully most of the people watching live missed that little mishap at the beginning. But you will see it on demand. Make sure you subscribe. YouTube.com/AaronRift NoDQ Live. Or AaronRift NoDQ to watch NoDQ Live. Got the questions coming in and comments. So here we go again with the how big is Batista's you know what. Ask Jeff Meacham. Well, actually, I take that back. Ask the new NoDQ Trivia Champion, Greg Cherry. We have 40 live viewers right now. Let's get those numbers up. Please share this. Go on Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, any message board you go on, and please share this video so we can get the viewership. Let's try to break 200 tonight. Anyways, Raw. Interesting show tonight. We had Braun Strowman no-sell the German suplex by Brock Lesnar, which I thought was great. Braun Strowman looked like $1 million tonight. He beat up Brock Lesnar again. He beat up John Cena, and that was a little bit of an interesting segment because you had Strowman versus Cena given away for free, which was interesting, but then again, not so surprising when you consider this was the first week up against Monday Night Football. You had Cena versus Strowman kick off the third hour. The end of the show was a bit flat. It was an 8-man tag team match with Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose teaming up with the Hardys against Anderson and Gallows and Sheamus and Cesaro. That was the end of Raw. So you had Strowman beating up John Cena to kick off the third hour, I guess between the first and second NFL game. You had that match take place, and you had Strowman hit John Cena with the steel steps and not get DQ'd, but then Strowman power slammed Cena onto the steel steps and got himself disqualified. That was something out of WCW, but whatever. Overall, I was really happy with how Strowman was booked. I would say Strowman needs to win now at No Mercy. What do you guys think? I mean, Strowman is red hot right now. He's been so dominant. They have a new superstar in the making with this guy. And I think it would be a big mistake for him to lose to Lesnar. I could see some sort of screwy finish at No Mercy, like they both go through the stage or it's some sort of double DQ. But I really hope that's not the case. And in fact, I think of Unforgiven 2002, Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker, where they had this match end in like a double DQ or double countout. I think they went through the stage at that show, something like that. I'm really hoping it's not the same thing here, since we already saw something like that at the Staples Center for a pay-per-view. And I'm hoping we get a clear finish here. But I really think Strowman needs to win. What do you guys think? Turbonius asks, where is Samoa Joe? Joe is injured. Joe should be back in October, but right now it's looking like the later part of October. How bad is Roman looking with these promos with Cena from Andrew? Again, I think Cena came off looking way stronger than Roman Reigns. It seems like Reigns always has to use the B word as his way of trying to get one over on John Cena. The worst part about Reigns' promo is he was talking about how ticket sales are great, even though when he's talking there, you could see in the background the upper deck just completely blacked out, kerned off. And yeah, that wasn't exactly the best line to use when Raw was not even close to being sold out at the Arrowhead Pond. If that place was packed, then Reigns would have come off better. So I'm not sure who scripted that line for Reigns, but wasn't the right venue to be doing that. So yeah, I would say John Cena won the promo battle again. What do you guys think? Oh, and J-Ro brings up another thing. Reigns mentioned that Cena doesn't have good matches. And that's just completely ridiculous because we all know Cena had a great match with AJ at the Royal Rumble, arguably match of the year. And Cena's had some amazing matches in recent WWE history. So for Reigns to say that, I mean, what is going on with Roman Reigns right now? I mean, Roman Reigns, we all know WWE wants him to be the top babyface, and Triple H is calling him a tweener. Chris Jericho is calling him a tweener, but we all know Vince wants Roman to be the #1 babyface. So what's going on here? What is WWE doing with Roman Reigns? I mean, he's lying. People know Cena's been having good matches. That's just, for Reigns to say that, that's something a heel would say. It's dishonest. And saying ticket sales are great when we can clearly see the Honda Center was not even close to being sold out. I mean, he's lying. The guy's clearly lying to try to get one over on John Cena. How does that help his case at all? So yeah, really weird scripting of Roman Reigns on this show. Alexander says, does it even matter who the face or heel is at this point? Well, I think if they were selling out, it wouldn't matter, but the place was not sold out, and I'm really curious to see what the rating for this show will be. I mean, I think Cena versus Strowman will do a good number, but man, putting that 8-man tag team match at the end, I mean, that was such a flat way to end the show. So it's going to be a really interesting rating, and it'll be interesting to see if WWE can hold up better than previous years. I mean, I'm thinking they're going to fall even further, and arguably Christmas will be their lowest rated Raw of all time. I mean, it definitely could end up that way unless the product starts getting a lot hotter. And by the way, we have 134 live viewers. Oh, another thing on Raw, Enzo and The Miz. That was an interesting match. You had, first of all, The Miz and Maurice coming out there and revealing to the world that Maurice is pregnant, which led to Enzo coming out, Miz insulting Enzo, and it really felt like The Miz is turning babyface now, and I think Enzo is turning heel. I mean, the whole thing is really bizarre, and during the match you had both guys talking on the mic during the match, and eventually Enzo used the "Who's your daddy" line to piss off The Miz, and the Miztourage beat up Enzo. The whole thing's really weird. I'm assuming Miz is going face and Enzo's going heel, but I really don't know at this point. The whole thing was just so strange. The Miz deserves a top-of-the-line push. I mean, I agree with that. The Miz, you know, to use his own phrase, is awesome. He lives up to the moniker. He is truly awesome. And he delivered another great promo tonight. Basically just breaking the fourth wall again with Enzo, bringing up how nobody on the Raw roster likes Enzo. He brought up Enzo getting kicked out of the bus. So they brought up all these things that have been going around the internet in recent months. And yeah, I mean, I think it's a double turn, but I cannot say for sure. You know, maybe next week they'll just go back to their usual roles. I don't know. I mean, Corey Graves is just bashing Enzo like crazy. And if Corey Graves, you know, I would think that Graves would start defending him if Enzo's going heel. But I really don't know. I am definitely confused a bit by what's going on with these characters. But again, like the other person said, maybe it doesn't matter anymore who's a good guy or who's a bad guy. I mean, back in my day, if I want to sound like an old man, it was pretty clear who the good guys and the bad guys were. Even during the Attitude Era, when Vince Russo said the characters were shades of gray, we still had a pretty good idea of who we're supposed to cheer for and who we're supposed to boo. And right now, I just don't know. Ring Scoops Wade, or should I say Tommy, says WWE needs Glacier. You know, I'm surprised WWE hasn't brought out a guy with like the laser lights. I mean, they're not doing pyro anymore, but you know, you can do something like Glacier with the cool lasers and everything. And we really haven't seen somebody with that kind of entrance. Ryan King says, Aaron, you're the man. Thank you for that. Cool Hand Dylan says Glacier for the win. Oh, Wade is thrilled he got his shout out. So let me get to some of the comments here from you guys. Do you think Asuka will be booked properly? So on Raw, they did show the first teaser for Asuka coming to the Raw brand. So They didn't even do like a storyline, which they could have done. Maybe have both sides try to bid for her. They're just saying, Asuka's going to Raw. Kurt Angle won the bidding war. So the writers did not even attempt to do a storyline for this. I think that would have been interesting, but whatever. How will she be booked? I hope well. I mean, she should be dominant. I mean, that's how I would book her. I would have her just go through everybody. I mean, they need somebody really strong for her to face, though. So somebody at this point needs to be dominant. Whether it's Alexa Bliss or Nia Jax or Sasha Banks, somebody from this point until Asuka debuts needs to be booked dominating and being a force to be reckoned with. And then you can have Asuka come in and go through everybody, and then you set up the big match between Asuka and the top star who's the champion. If they keep booking back and forth with Nia and Alexa, with them trading wins, then it really doesn't mean much. You need somebody strong for Asuka to face, I think, for her to really have something interesting when she debuts. She needs a strong opponent. You know, the reason Strowman and Lesnar is interesting is because Strowman is being booked like a monster, somebody who can be a serious threat to Lesnar's title, and they're even portraying Lesnar as the underdog in this match. Kurt Angle should get Batman on Raw for the ratings. Kurt Angle might need Batman on Raw for the ratings. We'll see when they come in tomorrow. Cena will win clean. I'm not sure if he's talking about Reigns' match or not. Strowman is a turd. I'm just looking at some of the comments here. No, I am not going to rap unless I break 200 live viewers. That's the deal here. I will bust out a freestyle if we get 200 viewers live. Right now we have 156, so you guys are going to need to do a little bit more sharing, posting this on Twitter, but until that happens, I will not be freestyling. It's not going to happen. And, you know, you guys need to have the power of word of mouth and help me get 200 live viewers before that happens. Anyways, Ricky Lawson says the Wyatt segment was crap. I saw a bunch of comments from people about how they would have liked to have seen perhaps Bray Wyatt versus Goldust in a regular feud. I'd love to see something different with Goldust. You know, I was listening to the artist formerly known as Goldust theme song. It's on Uncaged 3, which was released on Spotify. And I wish Goldust would go back to being really weird and doing the edgy stuff that we saw during the Attitude Era. But I just think Goldust coming out there just with the pain and not really doing anything else weird is boring. You know, I think they could do so much more with the character, and same thing with Bray Wyatt. It's just boring. They're not doing anything. In the Costanza says, who is better, Jim Johnston or CFOs? I would say Jim Johnston because of his long body of work. He has 30 plus years of producing great theme songs. CFOs have only been around for a couple of years in WWE, so, you know, we'll see how long they last. If they can produce 15, 20, 25 years of great theme songs, then, you know, they can be comparable with Jim Johnson. But, you know, it's way too soon. But so far, so good. If they can keep it up, the quality of the songs, you know, with Nakamura and Bobby Roode, if they can keep that going for 15, 20 years, then they'll give Jim Johnson a run for his money. But right now, I say nobody can touch Jim Johnson. Will WWE ever bring back old school Raw? I would love to see it happen, and I'm surprised it hasn't. Maybe it just costs too much money. You know, they're not doing pyro anymore, so their attitude might be that bringing back the legends is just, it's too cost worthy and doesn't generate enough of a ratings bump to justify it. But I like it. It's something different. You know, I wish we'd see Raw change things up every now and then, like do an old school Raw, or do Raw, you know, remember WCW, they used to do Raw at Club La Vila in Florida, wherever it was. You know, they did it on the beach there with the ring surrounded by water. That was so cool. I give WCW credit for doing something completely different. But WWE would not want to sacrifice a week of arena revenue to change things up. But it'd be nice every now and then, you know, you sacrifice a little bit of money for the sake of changing things up and keeping things fresh. I think it's a good investment. to just change things up every now and then and make things interesting. Uh-oh, here we go. Do you think believing in God is stupid? Somebody commented that. I'm not going to go there. I mean, Roman Reigns basically responded to an atheist on Twitter, and an atheist troll, by the way. The guy was just trying to stir up people, and Reigns pretty much took the bait. If I was Reigns, I would not have made that comment. I think I would have just said something like, you know, you're let people believe what they want. You know, people are trying to give support to people who are dealing with the hurricane in Florida, Hurricane Irma, and just leave it at that. But for Reigns to call him a faithless fool and say enjoy nothing when you die, I mean, Reigns is just, you know, that was a bad idea, I think, on Reigns' part. You know, sometimes you tweet things out that maybe you shouldn't tweet out. So I think Reigns made a mistake there, personally. Samoan people are very religious. Yeah, that is true. They are definitely very faithful people. So, you know, I just think it was a mistake for him to do that. Brandon says, why wouldn't Vince be on Raw tonight to go head-to-head with football? Good question. I think, you know, they want to keep the SmackDown ratings up too, because typically when Raw viewership goes down, SmackDown viewership goes down. And I think the idea is you want to keep both shows hot and just try to keep the product in general hot. So it's not just Raw, but also SmackDown. WWE's trying to keep the viewership up. In general, keep people watching the WWE product and invested. Because if they stop watching one show, they'll start losing interest in the other show. And I think the idea is to keep both shows intriguing to the viewers as much as possible. So that's why they're having Vince come out on SmackDown. And plus, you know, they're really high on the Kevin Owens, Shane McMahon storyline, so they're using Vince to give that some credibility. John Cena be smoking that good stuff. Has WWE given up on Mike Kanellis, is a question I got in here. I hope not, but it sure is looking like that. I'm thinking maybe he needs to go to NXT. I mean, I mentioned this on NoDQ video, which, by the way, for those of you that missed it, I did do episode number 1001 and 1002. Holy crap, we're at 170. We're almost at 200. Really close, guys. I might have to bust out a freestyle here if we get to 200. We're getting really close. We'll see if we can get there by the end of this. Man, if I have to come up with a freestyle off the top of my head, it is going to be like the worst thing ever. But hopefully, I'm not even sure. I hope I just get to like 195 so I can not have to embarrass myself here in front of a lot of people. But anyways, talking about Mike Kanellis, I think he should maybe go to NXT and stop the gimmick where he is taking his wife's last name and just let him be himself. The problem is, you know, like I said in the videos, NoDQ video, I think it's a mistake to have him be in his wife's shadow and make that a storyline. Oh crap, 178. Oh man, we're getting really close to 200 here. But yeah, I think it's going to be a problem. You look at Mark Merrow and Sable. Mark Merrow ended up getting trapped in the shadow of his wife, and that more or less killed his career. What about Ronda Rousey coming into WWE again? Well, I fully expect something to happen Tuesday night. They're doing the final match of the Mae Young Classic after SmackDown. And by the way, when I did NoDQ video, I made a mistake. I'm going to do NoDQ Live after... I might as well just do it after 205 Live. You know, the past couple weeks I've been doing it right after SmackDown Live and saying, screw 205 Live. But the Mae Young Classic is a big deal, and I'm guessing they are going to be shooting a big angle. Do you think Ronda Rousey is hot from J-Ro? She's all right. I mean, I think she's fine, but, you know, I wouldn't say she's the most attractive woman in the world, but, you know, no issue with her. But anyways, back to Tuesday night. I will be doing NoDQ Live after 205 Live and the Mae Young Classic, and we can see what goes down. I'm expecting some sort of angle with Ronda Rousey involved. It's looking like they're going to do the 4 horsewomen of MMA versus WWE at Survivor Series, and then set up Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania in a one-on-one match, either Charlotte or Stephanie McMahon. I actually posted that on NoDQ about a month ago, and then over the weekend, like all these websites were posting about it. So where were they a month ago? But anyways, that's why you stick with NoDQ.com, because we got the news faster than anyone. Hello from Puerto Rico. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you're doing okay. You know, I know you guys got hit really hard by Irma. Hopefully you guys are doing okay. Hello from Canada. Thank you for watching from Canada. I appreciate the viewership from around the world, whether it's Canada, Puerto Rico, Europe, Australia. I know we got some Australian viewers. We even had one of them challenge Jeff Meacham on Wrestling Trivia Challenge. WrestleMania in Portland, somebody mentioned that. It's not going to happen because they don't have the stadium here for that. But I really hope Seattle gets it again. I'd love that. I mean, I would definitely be down for that. What is your favorite WrestleMania stage set? I liked 31. I liked this year's with the roller coaster theme. I thought that was really cool. I mean, I think that might be my all-time favorite. WrestleMania 17 was another good one. 21 with the WrestleMania Goes Hollywood. I like that one as well. Those are the ones off the top of my head. What do you guys think? What is your favorite WrestleMania set? WrestleMania 19 was another good one in Seattle. I just really hope they do it. Oh, another person from Mexico watching. Thank you for your viewership. I'm waiting for Dean to turn on Rollins. We could possibly see that. I'd like to see it. I mean, that was a match I laid out when I did my my card for WrestleMania 34, a heel Dean Ambrose versus a babyface Seth Rollins. I'd like to see that. What do you think about Cedric Alexander versus The Miz at No Mercy? There's really no build-up for that, so I'm not sure I would do that. I'm wondering if Miz is going face and Joe's going to come back, and instead of turning Joe... I think Joe's better off as a heel, so maybe we can have a heel Samoa Joe challenge a babyface Miz for the IC title once Joe comes back. I mean, Joe might not be back in time for the TLC pay-per-view, but if he is, then maybe that's a direction that WWE is going to go in, have Miz as a face against a heel Samoa Joe. Maybe have the Miztourage turn on Miz and join up with Joe. We could see something like that happen. Worst Triple H WrestleMania entrance. I'm not sure if he's asking me a question or if he's just commenting on that. Will SummerSlam return to LA? I don't think so. I think WWE is happy doing the shows in New York, and I think that's going to be the pattern now until WWE decides to move on to something else. You know, I think LA will get the occasional big pay-per-view, No Mercy, obviously. And, you know, 2020, 2021, as soon as the Rams' new stadium is finished, I'm guessing WrestleMania will be in LA, 2020, 2021, somewhere around there. And I will definitely be in LA for that one for sure. People ask me, are you going to go to 34? Probably not. I'm just not a big fan of flying across the country. I don't mind doing it from Portland to LA and vice versa, going back and forth. I mean, that's easy. And the airline is very easy to deal with, Alaska Airlines. It's a very smooth trip, but honestly, I don't like flying across the country. I'm not going to do it for WrestleMania. I'll go to WrestleMania if it's on the West Coast. LA, Las Vegas, that's another city. They're moving, the Raiders to Vegas and building a stadium there too. So Vegas, 2021, somewhere around there. I could see Vegas getting WrestleMania as well. Is Jericho coming back? He is missed. I'm sure he'll be back, but, you know, it'll be when he's ready to come back. You know, he's got more dates with Fozzy coming up, so I think if he does come back, it'll be early next year. Maybe he'll come back for WrestleMania 34, but, you know, he's got other stuff. Deplorable Hamp, is Jason Jordan buried? You know, I gotta say, the past 2 weeks, having him give John Cena and then Roman Reigns a run for their money, I think it's an okay storyline. It's better than nothing, but I still think he needs the heel turn badly. You know, he's just... I get what they're trying to do with him, but it's not really working even with Roman Reigns endorsing him. I think he needs the heel turn. I mean, that's what... The thing is, nobody buys him as Kurt Angle's son. That's the big problem here. So they need to just do a storyline where he comes clean and admits the whole thing was a hoax so he could get his foot in the door and just let him be a cocky heel for a while. Do you think Becky Lynch should turn heel? Possibly. I mean, if that's something she feels passionate about, then yeah. I mean, right now it's hard to say who is the clear heel on SmackDown. You have Carmella, who's maybe the top heel. Natalya, I mean, it seems like she gets a mixed reaction. Charlotte turned face and is really going nowhere, but also she's been dealing with the stuff with her dad. So yeah, maybe this could open the door for Becky to turn heel at some point. Maybe she'll turn heel during this horsewoman feud, and that'll set up her going heel. Maybe they could do Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania. That's a possibility as well. I think they'll do Charlotte or Stephanie. With Charlotte, obviously, Charlotte will generate more mainstream headlines because she's Ric Flair's daughter. McGregor versus Miz at Mania. I've seen people suggest that. Now, under normal circumstances, I would say, you know, Miz isn't a big enough name. But if McGregor does a WWE match, he's not losing. So I think it's better to have somebody like The Miz, who's not at the very top, put over McGregor rather than have a top star put over McGregor. And I think Miz would do a good job of promoting the match. He's a good talker, good enough talker to go head-to-head with McGregor. But the question is, will WWE really want to justify paying McGregor all that money unless they're putting him in there with the absolute biggest name possible? But then again, WWE did do Mayweather versus Big Show, and Big Show wasn't exactly the biggest star in the company. Ricky Lawson, Jeff Jarrett versus El Patron at Bound for Glory, your thoughts? I think it's a dud, and I don't think it's happening now because of Jarrett being sent home. I think El Patron in GFW period is a dud, but then again, I think everything they're doing is a dud. Honestly, I'm not blown away by these new characters they have in there. What's this OVE? I mean, is that like the least marketable name for a tag team of all time? OVE? How do you sell that to people? How do you sell that to casual fans? OVE. It's like over without the R. What? And they look like indie wrestlers. I mean, their look is just, I mean, it's a mess. I don't know. I'm not sold on them. And, you know, LAX is just, you know, a decade past its prime. More than that, like 12 years past its prime. Name one good thing about GFW. Oh, man, you're putting me to the test here. Name one good thing about GFW. Eli Drake. I like him. I think that guy is really good. EC3 is really good as well. Both of them, I hope WWE will pick them up at some point. I mean, I think Eli Drake is a really good talker. And I've said this for a couple years now. So it's not like I'm jumping on the bandwagon. I thought that guy was really strong on the mic. If you go back and watch old NoDQ videos, I did praise him and his mic work. I like Eli Drake. I think he should be in WWE. Same thing with EC3. I think EC3 has proven himself. I mean, he's doing well in a company that has no momentum. So imagine if he could come to WWE and be able to do his thing. I think he would succeed. I think he would do well. But then again, look at what's going on with Mike Kanellis. He was doing pretty well in TNA/GFW, and now he's going nowhere fast. So it's not a guarantee that Eli and EC3 would do well. You know, if they're given handcuffs, then they're not going to be able to go very far. Yeah, GFW's dead in the water. I mean, I don't know how this promotion survives. I'm amazed that they have 300,000 viewers every week. I mean, I've heard like Test Patterns can get 100,000 viewers or something like that, but still, you have 200,000 people. Even if 100,000 people are watching as a test pattern or whatever, or just people accidentally tuning on, and then that counts as a ratings point. Who's watching this show now in 2017? I mean, I don't know, unless that you have people that are just so obsessed with wrestling that they will watch literally anything. I don't know. I find it a real struggle. And it's not like the wrestling's terrible. It's just, it feels like a show that has no redeeming qualities whatsoever. It's just such a dead brand, and I have no reason to care for it whatsoever. I don't care about anything on that show other than maybe Eli Drake a little bit and EC3, and that's about it. Let's see, looking at some of the other comments here. Could Maurice be pregnant just be a storyline and not real? That is not something that they would make a storyline. I mean that's like the boy that cries wolf, and then if they're really pregnant, nobody's gonna believe them. I don't think they'll go there and make a storyline out of something like that. So I don't think so. I mean, it is wrestling, and you never know for sure, but I would be surprised if they made a storyline out of that. I mean, I certainly, if I was Mike the Miz or Maurice in real life, I would not want to make that a storyline. I just wouldn't want to go there. I mean, that's too personal. So, I mean, I would be surprised if that was the case. But you never know. It is wrestling after all. Did you enjoy Raw? Yeah, I did enjoy it. I thought it was a good show. It was weird at times. You know, like I said, putting Cena and Strowman on at the start of the third hour was an interesting decision. But I really like what they did with Strowman. I thought that was very well done, to the point where I think Strowman should get the title now. I mean, if WWE, let's just say they want to do the match with Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, fine. Have Strowman win the title, give him a couple months as champion, and have Lesnar win it back at the Royal Rumble. And that way Strowman gets a chance to shine and see where it goes. You know, you have to take chances. Put the strap to Strowman. Strike the iron when it's hot. Put the title on him. Give him a couple months at least and see what happens. What do you have to lose? I mean, I don't think the ratings will get any worse with Strowman as champion. I think it's worth the risk. Give him the title, and if you're hell-bent on doing Lesnar versus Reigns for the title WrestleMania, simple. Just have Lesnar win the title back at the Royal Rumble, or even Survivor Series. I mean, I think that's too soon, but coming off of Raw, I mean, they've done such a great job building up Strowman as a monster. I mean, it would be a real shame for him to lose, and I'm not a fan of doing like a screw job either. I think Strowman should just beat him and have Lesnar come back, you know, similar to Goldberg, and win back the title at the Royal Rumble, and let that maybe even just ride off Lesnar into the sunset. Honestly, I mean, I'm somewhat over Lesnar at this point. I don't know how you guys feel, but I feel like Lesnar has passed his expiration date in WWE. I mean, there's only so many times I could see Suplex City and not get tired of it. But anyways, we've passed the 30-minute mark, so I will go ahead and wrap up this edition of NoDQ Live. We did not hit 200, unfortunately, so no freestyle rap from me. But if you really want to see me embarrass myself, then spread the word. Tomorrow night after 205 Live, I will do another NoDQ Live. We'll try to get 200 live viewers. If that happens tomorrow night, I will freestyle rap. It will be terrible. It will be the worst thing you've ever heard, but I will give it a shot if we can get 200 live viewers tomorrow night. But with that being said, that's it for tonight. I will see you guys next time for more NoDQ Live on NoDQ.com.